What the hell are you doing?
Somebody has to save our skins. Into the garbage, you fly boy.
There's something alive in here.
That's your magic.
Look! Did you see that? What?
Hello, everyone. Welcome back, Fly Friends. We're back into the garbage chute with Silver and
Riley. Hi. Hello.
Hello. Hi, everyone. We're here on video, so this is our first time. We're actually kind of a little nervous, and right? I feel a little nervous today.
I'm a little nervy. Yeah,
we're a little nervy. But hello, Fly Friends. Welcome back to Into the Garbage Chute. We are a Star Wars podcast, and it's Silver and Riley hanging out, talking about Star Wars. And my goodness, I'll be here on the video. So what's good, y'all?
Hey.
And for those who are just stumbling upon this video because the Force willed it, hi, welcome to Into the Garbage Chute. We are a Star Wars podcast. We're just two friends who just love geeking out, talking about Star Wars or whatever. We like talking about everything else.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks for joining us.
Stay a while.
Stay a while. Oh my gosh. Wow, my brain. I went to a Kelly Clarkson song instantly. ADHD, we're talking about this.
Woo!
You'll find that out real quick that Riley and I get distracted a little easily, but that's okay.
Just a little bit. It's okay.
Yeah.
Makes things interesting.
That is correct. But Riley, hi. It's good to see you again.
It's good to see you too again.
It's so much fun. I love getting to hang out with you. Riley and I were just kind of off there chatting. It's so much fun. I always say that. I always mention that on the podcast, but it's actually genuinely fun. Like getting our stuff set up. Actually, we had no technical difficulties. Funny enough, when we even have like the first time we're doing like a video.
Yeah.
Right. I feel like
we usually always something's like wrong.
Yeah, but the first time the first time we were like using something new, we're just like, oh, this was easy.
Yeah.
This was a little bit more complicated, but normally when we're just doing like a simple audio, like hit and record, it's just bonkers and bananas.
Yeah, it's like this is very suspicious.
Yeah, I'm actually nervous.
Going.
Yeah, it's interesting, very, very interesting. But hey, so we are recording. It's a few days before the holidays. Riley, are you getting like into the holiday spirit?
Man, I really am. Like
nice.
The amount I listened to Last Christmas by Wham has significantly increased in the past week. So
is that your favorite? Is that your favorite Christmas song?
Oh yeah,
100%. That's my husband's favorite Christmas song too.
It's so good.
He stands by it. Yeah.
Every time I tell people that, they're like, "It's so sad." I'm like, "Okay." And it's a banger. So
George Michael, do we need to explain anything else?
Literally king.
Yeah, king, 100%. That's funny. Yeah.
What's
so
your favorite Christmas song?
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. Oddly enough, I got asked this question. I'm like, wow. Honestly, it's really hard to pick. I like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
That's also a bop.
It is.
It's very catchy.
It is. It's just like a cute, like a little story. Like, it just tells you the story of Rudolph. And my favorite like cartoons, Christmas cartoons, like the original claymations. They scare a lot of people, but I love like that to me.
Them.
Yeah. So I've always had a soft spot for Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Also like Julie Andrews, My Favorite Things. I don't know if that's a Christmas song, but it's pretty. It's always played in the rotation. I love it. I love Julie Andrews. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I'm a sucker for Christmas songs, but like a few days after Christmas and they're still playing it, I'm like, all right, you need to cut it already. It's too much for me.
Yeah, it's like there's definitely like a time cut for when Christmas is acceptable. Like, for example, when people start doing Christmas right after Halloween ends, I get a little annoyed.
Okay.
Like, it's not time yet.
I was going to ask you, are you okay with the Christmas decorations hitting after Halloween? So obviously not.
No, I feel like it needs to be
after Thanksgiving.
Yes. And now I know people are going to be like, well, not everyone has Thanksgiving. Yeah, that's fine. Where
December?
you are.
Yeah.
Here, it's like, okay, we just had all of this really cool Halloween everything.
Mm-hmm.
Why the next day? It's not even December yet.
There's
It's just too much. I love Christmas. Listen.
Can I finish my candy? My first
Take
or
a breath. I
Mhm.
need a break between holidays, please.
Yeah. Because it's intense. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, there's more money we got to spend. It's crazy.
It's just like, I just need a few
a little
weeks
break
of nothing.
Yeah, a little break. Because it's like, I feel like because other holidays just really come and go, where Christmas kind of like,
It lingers.
it lingers a bit. And there's like a pregame before it too, like
it looms. Even.
Yeah, it's a long day. It's a long holiday. But yeah, for sure. No, I get what you're saying. Do you prefer Halloween or Christmas?
Halloween.
I was gonna say you strike me as a Halloween girly.
I love Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that I'm like, ugh, Christmas. I just
but you prefer Halloween. Yeah,
I love
Two
Halloween.
Great holidays that are so close to each other.
They're at the best time of the year.
Yeah.
Fall.
Fall, winter. The year is about to almost be over. We're exiting 2023.
Ugh.
2024 is right around the corner. So I think it's time that we finally talk about Ahsoka. Say it.
Came out this year.
Say it.
Ahsoka. Everyone's been asking.
Yeah, so we decided to we said we can't. Riley and I were like, wow, the year's about to be over, and we have not talked about the biggest Star Wars series of the year. Granted, of course, during the strike we weren't talking about it, but now we're actually happy to kind of hang out and discuss our favorite moments, stuff that we liked, stuff that really didn't hit with us. But it's time to talk about Ahsoka, and we can't wait to discuss this with each other because we didn't get to.
Yeah.
So I am so stoked for that. We're also excited to talk about that with each and every one of our flight friends. So yeah.
I'm really excited. And the reason why we didn't talk to each other about it is so that we didn't repeat ourselves to each other when we record it.
Yeah, it's really fun to kind of like, get together and, have a time to like kind of discuss it. And I'm totally excited to hear everything, what you thought. So, but yeah, the 2023 Ahsoka, the series that we've been like completely like waiting for, anticipated for, finally came out. It came and gone really. Talk about Halloween coming and going. Ahsoka was here really quick and like dipped. So yes.
Disney Plus, when I find you. I'm going to have a little sit down with you about season lengths.
Written and created by Dave Filoni. Dave Filoni, who again was working with George Lucas, who created this character for the Clone Wars animated show, is now, at the helm of this animated or this live action Ahsoka series. And talk about like insane. Like I can't imagine being Dave Filoni and just be like, wow, this character I created years ago is, has her own live action show. And, and he gets still to this day be able to like tell more of her story. It's so incredible.
Yeah. I feel like now I'm unfortunately on twitter.com. I'm not calling it the other name. So I've seen like I've seen so many people before Ahsoka came out. They were just like, why won't Dave just let her die? Just let her go. And I'm just like, no, honestly, I'm sorry. If I was Dave Filoni and I had created one of Star Wars's most
beloved,
one of the most beloved characters in Star Wars history, I am going to do absolutely everything I can with that character. I'm going to keep thinking of stories to tell with this character.
Mhm.
And so honestly, having the live action, maybe not everyone wanted that, but I'm so glad we got it because wow.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's really good. And I mean, it just sets the stage because, you know, it does take place in between I mean, just like it's in alignment with the Mandalorian in that timeline.
Mhm.
So obviously this is post Return of the Jedi, right before the sequel trilogy. There's so much like story to tell.
Mhm.
Um and again, not just we're talking about the Clone Wars, Rebels. She was in
Yep.
the and other animated show Rebels, and there was just
Mhm.
and you know she was essential to that story in ways where you know she's this rogue Jedi. This is post Order 66. The Empire is in full reign, and then she comes across like this, you know, the Ghost Crew.
I don't think she's ever been put in something
That
unnecessarily.
I don't think so either.
Mm-mm. It's
Like
always made sense.
yeah, like of course, like Grogu, a force being, like let's send her to the probably only known one of the known Jedi that's kind of lurking around right now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. So yeah, it's not like they're just it's not like almost for fan service. They're just like doing it because it makes sense that why she would be there.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think the series makes sense. I think again, like it ties into what they pitched before of the Mandoverse of all these shows kind of connecting and stuff like that. So I
Mhm.
knew when we saw her in Mandalorian season 2, I knew that was not the last time we were going to see Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka. When she's
Mhm.
walking away, I'm like, there's walking into her spinoff.
Yep. I was like, they're not just going to show her just as a cute little cameo. No. Especially because they always say this with Disney, like Star Wars and their costumes. If they've gone out of their way to make not just like a stormtrooper, like a generic costume, if they've gone out of their way to very intricately make a costume for a well-known character, you are going to see them more than once.
Yeah.
They're not going to just, they're not going to shell out the Disney mouse dollars.
Yeah.
And so as soon as we saw her, I was like, okay, we're going to get something else with her. I didn't know what it was. I was hoping it was Rebels, live action. This was basically kind of live action Rebels in a way. But yeah, I was like, okay, I'm ready for whatever Dave is going to give us.
Yeah. No, for sure. And yeah, Dave Filoni, he gave us quite a bit. You know, the beginning of this series, or right before the series, they were kind of like promoting, this is right before the strike, they were promoting, obviously they were doing really honing in on master and apprentices, right? And they even did like little like they had like little snippets of like backstory of like, oh, this is who she is, and you know, she was an apprentice of Anakin Skywalker, and that was like the real like they kept like saying that master and apprentice. Like they even had like this little like short, you know, clip. And that was kind of like the big focus. We were in this series, that was just like a really big topic. And they had not just the story of Ahsoka and Anakin. We have, I mean, Ahsoka now has an apprentice herself, which is Sabine Wren. And you talked about this, you know, pretty much as a Rebels, a new season of Rebels. Yeah, I mean, we had not only was this a series about just Ahsoka, we had so many fan favorites that were going to be part of the show. And that was really exciting. That was like exciting. I love Rebels. Rebels is for me like one of the best things in Star Wars. I love that series. It's probably like one of my favorite things ever. And it was just really, really cool and exciting that we were going to get these characters back. And the fact that we can actually like, wow, there's going to be some sort of continuation with what happened in Rebels. Because if you guys remember what Rebels, they left us on a cliffhanger, to say the least.
Oh man.
They left us on a cliffhanger, to say the least. So Ahsoka Tano, Sabine Wren, Ahsoka being the master, and you know, Sabine being the apprentice, which is it's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I remember like the trailer, we were like, what?
Yeah, we were like, why does she have a light? Say, what's happening?
Yeah.
What did we miss?
Yeah, no, that was pretty crazy. And what did you think about that decision about having Sabine as Ahsoka's apprentice?
I am conflicted, if I'm
Mhm.
being honest.
I think a lot of people, I
I
know
loved
a
it.
lot of people are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
loved it, but at the
I
same
didn't love it at
time,
first. I will say that.
that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? Okay. But I was just kind of like, what? Why?
Mhm.
Not
Mhm.
that I don't want anyone to be like, well, listen, I liked it. I just don't know why. I know Dave's gone on to say, well, anyone has the Force. It's just like, yes, but not everyone can, manifest it in the way that Force sensitive Force users have.
Mhm.
So I was just like, I know that she had the Darksaber for a little bit, but it's not really, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not really the same.
Mhm. I get, yeah. No, I get what you're saying. It's almost like it kind of like, because I just feel like Sabine is a character we just know really well, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like just her, even like the interest of becoming a Jedi was just something that I just never really thought
Yeah.
was in her path.
Yeah. And she didn't even want the Darksaber. She stumbled upon it and was like, okay, I'm going to go give this to Bo-Katan.
Yeah.
Like, that was
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was a little like, oh, okay, I get this is the direction we're going. I think for
Mm-hmm.
me was the frustrating was it took us forever to get to the explanation of why they didn't work
Yeah.
out. And that was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, like,
Mm-hmm.
it took them a while to explain that they had a falling out because what happened on Mandalore. Ahsoka didn't allow Sabine to go, and look what happened to Mandalore. That was
Yeah.
a whole discussion, but we didn't get to that point till what, the finale or the penultimate episode.
I think it was the episode before the
Yeah,
finale.
so the penultimate episode, we got some sort of explanation, but this whole time there was just like this strenuous, like straight, like between them, back and forth between them, and it was just like almost like, well, give us something a little bit. That kind of was a little frustrating for me.
Mm-hmm. And again, back to the episode length. Disney Plus, listen. Things will not seem rushed if you have longer than 6 episodes per season, because that's what's happened in all of these Star Wars projects. Is it takes forever to build up to what's going on, and then all of a sudden it's over.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like that majorly did happen with Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm.
It took ages to find out, okay, what's this tension? Why are they kind of like making subtle jabs at each other? And then it was over.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I understand there's probably going to be another season, but like,
yeah,
it shouldn't feel rushed.
Yeah.
Once it finally reaches, oh, that's why.
And I do like the explanation of why she was hesitant to train Sabine. I understand that because of her, like what happened with Anakin, and
Absolutely.
Obviously what happened in the middle of the season, with her going in the world between worlds and just having that, interaction with her former master, and kind of like that's kind of what she needed to move on. I totally get that, and I love that. Again, I think it was more like the execution that kind of just like was a little bit frustrating.
Yeah, I agree.
Again, in the beginning, that I was just really like, like I didn't really buy into it. I will say, like at the end, I was kind of a little bit on board, a little bit more, and I would like to know more about their time before the series too. Like hopefully there's a book, a comic series, or something. We get a little, we can fill in the gaps a little bit more. But I mean, other than that, like, did you feel like Ahsoka and Sabine, like, and was there any of their moments that they had, was that something that were you on board with, like, as far as like them interacting? Did you kind of like feel like, oh, okay, they had like some sort of relationship before?
Yeah, when I was watching them, I was like, okay, so obviously something happened, But for something to have happened, they obviously got close enough for it to affect everything.
Yeah, because Sabine, she does get a little, when she sees her in the beginning, you know, she gets a little flustered.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like, again, it wasn't like until, I think it wasn't until after she gets hurt and then they go on, they end up going on this mission to go, then they had like their moments like on the ship and she's trying to retrain her. I was like, okay, I can kind of see it then and there. But Ahsoka has her thing, and Sabine has a whole different plan of what she's after. So right from the beginning, they weren't on the same page.
Yeah, I feel like, and this was explored, Ahsoka's very going by the book of the Jedi code of like attachments will make you very emotional and you're not going to be acting in the best directive of what needs to happen. And Sabine kind of showed her like you can have both. It took them a minute to get there, like we were talking about. But yeah, I feel like it was just like a lot happening, and it, like we said, it just took forever for them to actually get to what happened. But you could tell that they had a relationship and they were close. I wish we got to see it.
Yeah.
I wish we weren't left on that Rebels cliffhanger, but
yeah, for sure. So the interesting question is, you're Sabine in the fate of the galaxy and the fate of your friend. What are you choosing?
See, this is why I say I would make a very awful Jedi. I will absolutely be going for my friend. Same here. Yeah. Unfortunately, I would make a very bad Jedi on accident because of that. I do react on emotion a lot of the time. And that is what I would do. I would go, if I was Sabine, I would absolutely go for Ezra. I'd be like, okay, Galaxy can handle itself. Bye.
Yeah. No,
why
for
is
sure.
It on me? Why is that on me?
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah. So again, that's how you were able to kind of see the strain in the relationship between Ahsoka and Sabine, where Ahsoka sees that Sabine is too attached to her friend, and what happened to her master. And she just did not want to have any part of it. I mean, the girl has PTSD. Let's be real.
Yeah.
And that just put a hindrance on their relationship. They weren't able to move forward. She wasn't able to trust Sabine, and Sabine was able, essentially just resented Ahsoka because of what happened on Mandalore, how she didn't trust her. She couldn't go over there because she couldn't handle it. And it just put such a strain on their relationship. And it makes sense the way Ahsoka would act, why she would act. I mean, look at what she's been through. And we see her in The Mandalorian, and she's so hesitant on taking on training Grogu. I want to know, is this after Sabine? This is obviously after Sabine, right? I think so. Okay. That's after Sabine and her had that, obviously went their own ways.
Yeah. Because Mandalore was already gone by that point.
Oh yeah. That's right. That's right. So she's like, I'm not taking another Padawan. I screwed up the first one already.
Yeah. Something. And though I know it's because of the PTSD, but as we know Ahsoka, she's a very empathetic, understanding person. And when she was a teenager, she could be very hot-headed and reacted on emotion. And even Anakin sometimes had to reel her in, which was very funny.
Yeah, I know, right? Anakin of all people had to reel in Ahsoka. It's like, we've gone on the off the deep rails. If this guy's in charge.
Exactly.
If this guy's the sound one.
Yeah. So knowing that's how Ahsoka was, it in the show, it honestly did frustrate me a little bit that Ahsoka wasn't really understanding as much as to why Sabine was the way she was, because she lived that. She understood exactly how she was feeling. There was a times where Ahsoka would risk entire missions because her friend needed help.
Yeah.
And so that really did frustrate me a little bit, because it's just like, okay, yes, this is Ahsoka, but this Ahsoka isn't acting like Ahsoka. Yes, she's traumatized, but also us knowing her as a very empathetic and understanding, compassionate person, she normally would be able to understand and see it both ways, but she was just like, no. Yeah, so that did frustrate me a little bit.
And I think Ahsoka does come to terms with it after, and like tells her like, hey, like I was the same way type deal.
Yeah. Eventually.
Eventually, for sure. So again, it's just I mean, it was just an interesting thing to watch. And hey, like honestly, like it's two amazing characters, you know, having, you know, getting to have this relationship. So it was pretty fun to watch. Well, we were introduced to it's really tough to come into a Star Wars show as new characters when you have characters like Ahsoka Tano, Sabine Wren, Hera Syndulla, Chopper, Hu Yang. You have these hard hitting, like just hard hitters, just big timers.
The nostalgia pool,
you know, big characters. Thrawn. How the heck are you going to be a new character and then come into this series? But my gosh, we were introduced to two great characters, and that is Baylan Skoll and Shin Hati, which I got to say is probably my favorite part of the series are these two characters. What do we think?
I thought they were very interesting, and I was really, when I saw that, I was like, okay, this is what they're doing. We've got another Purge survivor, and he also has an apprentice, master and apprentice, yet again.
Oh no, they were instantly. Ray Stevenson, my gosh, like honestly, like rest in peace. Like what, and just like what an amazing thing to like leave us behind. Like it's just like he just like left it all out, like just completely. Just every time he was on screen, it was magnetic. I couldn't take my eyes off him.
Absolutely.
Like we met plenty of Jedi, but there is something about he like demands your presence. Yeah. And it's like, whoa, it is intense.
Yeah. I feel like
phenomenal actor, my gosh.
Yeah. Him as an actor, he's always been able to do that. And this was definitely no exception.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of like, because Baylan he was like a force of nature, but also very like reserved inside himself, if that makes sense.
So good.
And it's just kind of like,
it's like what I picture a Jedi.
Yeah.
That's what Jedi should be.
And it's like, what are you?
Yeah.
I want to know more. But of course they took forever with that too.
I know. But even when like they were hunting for Ahsoka in like the first they were like trying to get after Ahsoka. He just like would be ashamed to like, you know, let her die. You know, it's like, oh my gosh, like what do you feel? Like, why? Is it because she's a Jedi, or is it because like she's like like what is it? Like, oh my gosh, it was just so good. The way he played this character was just incredible. And even like the beginning, the first episode, when they, first of all, Phantom Menace vibes all around that first episode, when they do the trick and they come in and they go and infiltrate and being crazy dark side. It's just so freaking good.
Yeah. As soon as they did the reveal, I was like, oh, that is so Phantom Menace.
Because they're not traveling as Jedis. They're like mercenaries. So they're working for Morgan Elsbeth, who, as we know her from Ahsoka, who obviously is in cahoots with Thrawn. They break her out and they break out of the like New Republic transport. And oh my gosh, so good. But again, just like that first scene with them two, I'm like, oh, they are intimidating. They seem threatening. And just overall, just like interesting. And I was just so like, Love
and
at
they
first
are
sight.
beautiful.
They are so hot. They're like
They are
extremely
so
hot people.
Beautiful people. Yeah.
Ah,
Have you seen people ship Shin with Sabine?
I'm one of them.
Yes.
I am one of them.
As soon as I saw that on Twitter, I was like, you know what? Yeah.
No, I am one of
Yes.
them. I'm one of
Mhm.
them. That's
What's it
she
called?
did.
Wolfren.
She
Wolfren.
Wolfred, 100%. I am one. I am one of them. I'm one of them. Oh my gosh, like it is just so perfect. I think Shin Hati's like probably like Shin Hottie. Shin Hottie.
So true.
So true, right? Oh my gosh. Let me tell you, I think Shin is so sick. Like just like her look, the aesthetic, the fact that like she has this like master who obviously she respects and admires, but she's almost like where we talk about how he's so like, you know, a little bit reserved and like, you know, is very obviously like patient. She is that's the one we got to watch out for.
Yeah, she could like fly off the handle at any moment.
At any moment, I was waiting for it. I'm like, oh, I'm ready for it. I am ready. Like it's just like, yeah, she was so like you almost, yeah, it was so good.
And in knowing that, the second season, I feel like she's gonna be a much bigger, more menacing threat and villain.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Because that she could fly off the handle at any moment.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, I loved their whole dynamic. I love that. What I really thought it was just really like a father-daughter type relationship, and I really, really love that. And it's almost like, wow, like, okay, did he stumble upon this young girl who like I just like I have so many questions of their backstory.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, that's how you introduce new characters. When you just they're so well written, it's so like they're performed really well. You make them just really interesting. Where us as fans, us as viewers, it's like I have a billion questions about them and I want to know more. We've been introduced to so many Star Wars characters, and let me tell you, they've gone like I forgot about them. Like that's just kind of how it is, you know. It's kind of like, but they are just so interesting. Yeah, and I want to know so much more. And I get like so sad that like Ray Stevenson's not with us anymore. But like again, like I hope when people when I always think about when I think about Tales of the Jedi, I just want like a whole season of Tales of the Jedi, just them too.
Yeah.
Just give me a whole books, give me something.
Comics.
I want everything. I want everything.
Absolutely.
I'm reading a lot of like fan fiction with like Sabine and Shin right now.
Is this the first time in visual media that we are seeing a master and apprentice of the Sith that isn't just Palpatine being a manipulative asshole?
But are they Sith though?
I think possibly.
Okay.
I think.
Well, like let's talk about at the end, you know, when they're on Peridia. I mean, he's after something else. Like he's more like in tune with like the ways of the Force.
Because of how much he uses the dark side, I would say he is a Sith.
Okay.
Kind of.
Okay.
At least in my opinion, because I feel I'm not one of those gray Jedi people from Legends. I think there are Jedi, there are Sith, and then there are Force users. So I feel like if there was like a scale, and on one side is Jedi and one side is Sith, I feel Baylan would be on the Sith side, but closer to the middle.
Okay. If
that makes sense. I feel like that's not his main prerogative, but he's like, you know what? The dark side feels pretty good.
It feels pretty good. Well, I think overall, he just like wants to know more about his like connection to the Force in general. Like he's like, obviously he's like, I want to go to a different galaxy. Like, screw this. This is like too much. And he does say that. And
he's very focused on power, and he talks to Shin about seeking power. And
yeah, which is interesting because, you know, they have, and then like he kind of like dips at the end with her.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a question mark for me. I'm like, wait, what?
It's like, did he change his mind, or is he seeking power just somewhere else? Like, I don't, what's going on?
Yeah, that was a little sad for me. I'm like, oh, he just loved her.
Mm-hmm.
Or he just thought like, hey, like she wants to do, I think he just saw like she is seeking something else.
Mm-hmm.
Where I feel like I feel like she would be more closer to Sith than he is.
Oh, absolutely. Because
she's like, she wants power. She wants
yeah, she doesn't have the discipline.
Yeah, she wants power. He's more like on a spiritual journey.
Yeah, I love that for him.
Yeah, I do too. I too would like to go to Peridia and just leave this galaxy and go somewhere else.
Yeah, so real. God.
Same.
So real. You know what?
Same.
Sign me up.
Baylan, same. But yes, Baylan and Shin, the Master and Apprentice, new Star Wars characters that came into the series that kind of blew us all out of the water. I feel like that was just like a collective, like everybody was just like, yes, these two are just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So a win.
Yeah, absolutely.
Win for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we need to talk about one of the big things that happened in this series, and that is the return of the King, Anakin Skywalker. Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker makes his incredible return to live action Star Wars, and surprisingly, he's in it quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Not surprisingly, I'm just like, oh wow, you're in this series.
So much more than I expected, and everything I ever hoped for.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Yeah, so Anakin and Ahsoka have this amazing interaction, confrontation, that left us all fans. I don't think I was like breathing properly.
No.
I
couldn't believe what I was watching.
My Apple Watch told me like my blood pressure was too high. They're like, you are sitting down for your heart to be beating this fast. You need to call the ambulance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. Obviously we knew when the series, like we obviously thought like, oh, of course they're gonna bring Hayden Christensen back. Like he's gonna be a Force ghost. There's gonna be flashbacks, and so obviously we're gonna talk about one of the biggest episodes of the series, and they even aired this episode in theaters. So for select theaters, you're actually able to go watch episode 5, called Shadow Warrior. But before that, the episode before that, it ends with Baylan and Ahsoka getting into this amazing lightsaber fight. I by the way, the lightsaber choreography in this show is just flawless. I think it's amazing. It's actually, I want to say, no, I don't want to be provocative right now, so I'm going to keep my self. I don't think I'm ready to make that point yet.
Yeah, but I know what you were going to say.
You know what I was going to say, right?
I know what you were going to say.
Okay.
And I agree. It's best not to be provocative right now.
Yeah. Let me chill out real quick.
Yeah, people on Twitter are going to be like, you know what? This podcast sucks.
Yeah, let me chill out real quick. Because I'm not ready to make that yet. Make that statement yet.
It's too early to get canceled.
Yeah, I'm gonna relax. But it was really good. It was some really good choreography. I had a good time. I think the action in the show was really outstanding and great. But Ahsoka is in a near death experience like situation after her and Baylan have this amazing fight after they get the map to go to this other galaxy. This whole thing. Sabine's messed up and they all take off. But Ahsoka's like left for dead. And then she hears this voice and it's Hayden Christensen. And let me tell you, I almost lost my crap when Hayden Christensen said snips.
Yep. I think I stopped breathing for like.
I am telling you, there was a lot of that going on in this series.
Yeah. I could not believe my eyes.
Yeah.
Especially with the following episode. That was, dare I say, the best Star Wars I have ever seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so good. Shadow Warrior is probably just one of those things that you can't even believe it exists.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, wow, we get to have this. I get to actually, after this podcast, I actually rightly get to go and watch it.
Isn't
that crazy that we have?
Yeah.
It's
we
like
have
weird.
Just access to like
it's like
everything.
That's okay. So hello, Fly Friends, you're all listening on this podcast with us. You guys seen it. We've been, jumping around with the series, but Shadow Warrior is the episode where Anakin and Ahsoka finally have their confrontation. Anakin as Anakin that she remembers him. Ahsoka, who she is, where she's at right now, have this amazing confrontation. And he is going to give her an ultimate lesson. He needs to give her one more lesson.
Oh.
And it is just, it brings you to tears. And then you're going through flashbacks. And you see like just the flashbacks with her in the Clone Wars. I know Ahsoka was a young Jedi child fighting in the war, but there is something seeing it in live action. And she's played by Ariana Greenblatt. And my gosh, this is a child in war.
Yeah.
Did you get that? Did that just put like a spin, like just a completely like different perspective? It's like we knew, but I don't know, like seeing it in live action, you're just like, oh, this is brutal.
Yeah, it's really does.
Scary.
It really does put it into perspective just how young she was and what they expected of her as a 13-year-old.
And not just her, so many other young Jedi. Like this is just like, that was just like what they had to do. And
like you see how small she is, and it's just like, oh my God. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It really puts it into perspective when you see it in live action. Like we knew, but like it's very different.
Yeah. I think about my niece who's very young, and I'm just like, the idea of like, that just is terrifying. And it's just like, wow, like Ahsoka was so freaking young and having to have the weight of her shoulders. Even like that confrontation she has, or just her discussing with Anakin, of just like, is this all I'm meant for? Like war, and and they just have that heart-to-heart discussion, and she's just obviously struggling with it. Am I just a soldier? Is this who I am? Mm-hmm. And that was really, really special to see. Like, again, obviously we're fans of the Clone Wars. Mm-hmm. We love Clone Wars Anakin. But having Hayden Christensen portray Clone Wars era Anakin was just too much for my soul to bear. Yeah. Too much.
Yeah. I never thought that we would get it. Mm-hmm. I'm so happy that we did. A funny story. When I met Hayden in 2021 at a convention, my friend Christian had gone before my group to take a photo with him, and he went dressed as Clone Wars Obi-Wan.
Okay.
And the moment that Christian stepped into the photo booth with Hayden,
he
said Hayden's eyes kind of like widened at his armor, like he recognized it.
Oh, that's so cool.
And so when he came back and told us that's when I was like, oh my God, there's going to be Clone Wars flashbacks. Mm-hmm. At some point, there is going to be Clone Wars flashbacks because he recognized the armor. Okay. And I feel like before Hayden had said he didn't really like know much about the Clone Wars, and so the fact that he recognized it, knowing that, I was like, okay, he knows something's about to happen, something's about to go on. Yeah. So seeing it actually happen was like incredible.
It just makes sense to kind of like have like that sort of flashback, and to do it in a way where she's in the world between worlds, like, or is she? Does she think she is? Or it's just such an interesting way to kind of like just use that makes good use of a flashback and the way they did it, because it's adult Ahsoka now, but just in a form, it's just so cool. And
when you bring up the world between worlds and we see this scene of what happens while she was there, it also kind of makes me wonder if in Rebels, when Ezra goes and gets her out of the world between worlds, Is this the kind of stuff, not necessarily with Anakin, but is this the kind of stuff that she was going through while she was in the world between worlds? Just like reliving things over and over and over again?
Right?
Do you know what I mean? Like, is
it-
that what
is-
the world between worlds is? It's just like you keep going through your life and what you've been doing, and since she was still alive in Ahsoka, technically, it was a little bit different because she was fighting to stay alive and die. But in Rebels, she was dead. But was she still just kind of like going through the motions of her life over and over and over again?
Yeah. Isn't that what it is? Like, you're kind of like, I don't know. I have no idea.
I'm
The
not
World Between
very
Worlds-
familiar. Yeah.
The World Between Worlds, someone called Dave Filoni on the phone. The World Between Worlds is something that's just like, it exists. And I'm just like, okay. I feel like it's, I don't even know.
It's like it exists and I'm not touching it. Okay.
Yeah. You're telling me this is what they do in there. I'm going to believe you.
Yeah. And I'm so sorry if what I'm saying sounds silly. I'm not very familiar
It
with the World
doesn't
Between
sound
Worlds.
silly because I feel like we've all had that question because we're all trying to make sense of it. I think when we all saw Rebels, we were trying to be like, so what is this?
Yeah. So like what happens here?
Yeah. Can I bring my pull-out mattress next time?
Yeah,
Like,
is there like anything else
is
to
there
do? Like,
door? Can I gotta go to the bathroom.
Yeah,
Where
it's
do I
just
go?
who do I ask questions? Is there a guy I go to ask things? Like, am I just here? Like,
I think you're just there. It's so funny. I have this, yeah. Yeah, I have no idea. That is so funny. Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know.
yeah, it's just like, oh, okay. I'm just gonna say okay.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Hayden Christensen looks so fine in the World Between Worlds, though.
My
God. And in the Clone Wars, and when he turned into Darth Vader.
Talk about Watto Man.
Oh my, seriously, he's forever the number one, numero uno. Yeah. So obviously, love the flashback. I love the fact that they did the Siege of Mandalore because that's when she had already been separated from him. Because he even says, "I don't." When he goes to Siege of Mandalore with her, he's like, "I don't
know this battle.
I don't know this." But that was just, first of all, one of the biggest battles ever. And she was there without him.
Yeah. When he said, "I don't know this battle," it literally felt like a gut punch.
Yeah. It's like, well, buddy. Yeah. I mean, honestly, if Ahsoka was with him, I don't think, yeah.
That's right after she told Obi-Wan, "Tell Anakin."
Yeah, it was too sad. It was too sad.
Yeah.
But she had just like, you even see like the maturity that obviously she, from season 1 of Clone Wars to the Siege of Mandalore, like she is just like, she's pretty much like just at this point, like just that soldier that she was questioning about in the beginning, like this is kind of like what she's known for and what she honestly really knows. But you kind of see like this maturity to her, and again, Ariana just does an amazing job at portraying young Ahsoka.
In those flashbacks, I just want to say, being able in one flashback to see Captain Rex in his Phase 1 armor.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Mandalore, and he's in his Phase 2 armor. That was so cool.
That was really cool. And I want to talk about that transition when Anakin is walking into like that
fire kind of
fire, and it switches to Darth Vader in his Vader suit. It is chilling.
The music, oh my god,
so good.
The best visuals in Star Wars.
It's so good. No, it's really good.
Just like the transition flash back and forth.
I was watching a lot of reaction. I like watching like reactors and stuff, but like their reactions every time that was a big one.
Yeah,
that blew me away. That was intense. It
caught me off guard. Yeah.
It was scary.
Yeah,
no, but it was scary. Like it was just like, oh, this is scary. And it's just everything that Ahsoka just sees. Like, she sees her master, and this is what he becomes. And she even says, like, what he says? He tells her, he tells her, you know, you're more than that because I'm more than that. And she's like, yeah, you are more than that. You're more than anyone, and you're more dangerous and powerful than anyone ever knew. And then that something along those lines. But it was so good. Again, I think, yeah, their interaction in this episode was just a big, great like therapy lesson. Like just coming to terms with you know, like I don't know, like maybe you've had somebody you looked up to and they just weren't who they thought, you know, you thought they were, and it's heartbreaking and sad, and you blame yourself maybe because I should have done this differently, or you know, or you just thought this person's become a stranger all along, and it's really heartbreaking and it's sad, and you know, just her coming to terms with that is just was really nice to see.
Yeah, it's the realization that you have to accept things instead of dwelling on them for your life, or you're just going to be stuck.
You're going to be stuck there. You're going to be stuck there. And that was, I think, that was just ultimately the lesson he wanted him to learn. He's like, you need to have like the will to fight if you want to live, you need to move on from this. You need to fight to move on. Like we can't be here anymore. You cannot be in this place. You're miserable. Like you need to move on this, you know, this is not who you are. You know, this is not going to be what defines you. Just like that this is not going to be what defines me. And it was just so beautiful. I think this whole episode was just gorgeous. You know, we're going to, so just some of my favorite things ever in this episode. And I mean, capping off the topics of Master and Apprentice, obviously Anakin and Ahsoka, a huge part of it. This is why the series even exists. Had it not been for the Clone Wars movie introducing us to Ahsoka and Anakin, and what a beautiful, just heartbreaking at the same time, you know, this relationship is. And but what a great gift and lesson that Anakin was able to give Ahsoka one more time, because she got a glow up afterwards.
She just, as soon as she came back,
even didn't have a headband, and that was uncomfortable to watch.
That was alarming.
Like Don't ever do that to me again.
It's not at all the same, but in my head it is. You know the edit of Smooth Yoda?
It's almost the same thing. It's really uncomfortable. I'm like, I don't like this. This is uncomfy.
Like, as soon as it came on the screen, I was like, what? Where's your headband?
Where's your head?
Where does it start? How does it end?
It's hard to it's really weird. Like, I'm sorry. I get it. You gotta I don't know. It's like, you know, we shouldn't question it, but some things are just meant to stay on forever.
Yeah.
Don't take off.
Yeah, it's very, very Smooth Yoda. No offense, Ahsoka. Sorry.
Yeah. Ahsoka, that was not the look. Sorry.
But as soon as that episode ends and she's brought back out of the world between worlds, she's having resolved the conflict within her. She's just, that's when we start seeing old Ahsoka.
Yeah. Ahsoka. Yeah. She's Ahsoka the White now. And it's incredible.
Yeah, very much Ahsoka the White. Yeah.
Yeah. Loved it. Yeah. Just an incredible journey, those two. And later we see more, you know, interactions with them. She's watching old recordings, which I'm sure she's never wanted to ever watch ever again, but she kept them. She has all the recordings, and there's a lot of them. I would like to see more of those recordings, please.
Yes.
So there, and then of course at the end you get that Force ghost, Anakin, watching over her. We're getting a post Return of the Jedi Anakin. This is post. This is a new, this is new in canon Anakin.
Yeah.
This is new on the timeline Anakin. It's incredible. It's great. And it's like, oh, he's watching over her. So really good stuff. Really good Ahsoka and Anakin content that we will never get tired of.
I'm sure you all understand why we took a while on that part of the series. Like, come on.
Yeah. I know. We know that you guys, everybody's watched the show. So we're kind of like jumping all over the place, but those are definitely like some points we definitely needed to hit on.
Yes.
But hey, Master and Apprentices, we talked a lot about Ahsoka and all the different, obviously her journey she's going through. We talked about her dynamic with Sabine. We talked about two highlights, which were Shin and Balin. But let's talk about a few other story points that happened in the show. We talked about Rebel season 5 ? Yeah, so there's a whole storyline going on. The fact that Thrawn is supposedly returning. There's hints of it. They broke Morgan Elsbeth out of jail, prison, whatever you call jail in Star Wars. They broke her out because she is heading to Thrawn. There's whispers of Thrawn returning, and that's not a good thing for the New Republic, a brand new New Republic, who, again, we've seen from Mandalore, from other shows, that they almost don't have it all figured out at all. So we get General Harrison Dula, who is our space mom. She's in the series. She is so she's trying to tell everybody, hey, Thrawn is on his way, so you all need to pay attention, and they're not really paying attention.
I feel like everything from what we saw in Rebels, they should know already to listen to Hera. I feel like so much would not happen that's bad if they just listened to Hera instead of doubting her. Why do they always doubt the queen? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Hera. Yeah. And someone on Twitter had brought up a great point, is because we see throughout the series, the New Republic is just really pushing back on what Hera's needing to do to prevent this awful force from coming back into the galaxy. And they're just pushing back against her despite knowing that she's saved them more than once. And it's kind of creating a dynamic for future seasons as to Hera is now not on the good side of the New Republic, and that causes more conflict even after Thrawn arrives and they realize that she was right. But they're turning her entire military, I guess they're a military. They're turning her entire military against her. So she will be.
Well, yeah, I mean, they threatened her already. They threatened like her rank, because she was kind of not doing their protocols of what what they should be doing. Again, from what we've seen in The Mandalorian, the New Republic is pretty much, it's just a weird transitional time. A lot of those people who are probably in those positions were probably just not really typically fighting the Empire. They were kind of just going along with it. And now it's just a different leadership that they're kind of like, okay, well, this is kind of how we're doing things. So yeah, I mean, it just goes to show that it's not easy. The bad guys lost, the good guys win, but at what cost? Like what there's obviously a lot of rebuilding. There's so many like people who are still loyal to the Empire, obviously, like, for the Empire. That guy yelled it in the first episode, or the second episode. There's just a lot of like people who are just so like, they're like imperial, like, I don't know, what do you call it? Sympathizers still,
loyalists.
Loyalists. Like, and so it's crazy. It's crazy. And that just, you don't just overturn the galaxy and like still like it's like a fresh, clean slate. Like there's still people in power who, you know, like things done a certain way. And it's like, I'm not going to listen to you just because you helped us, you know, with a few things. But, and that's kind of scary. Obviously, this is right before the sequel trilogy. That obviously does not end well for them. And
repeating
even like
the same mistakes.
And even Balin says it. He's like, it's a never ending cycle. This is just, it's just going to keep happening. It's going to keep happening. So, so we see, I love politics in my Star Wars. I think it's like, this is why Star Wars is so great. You're able to have like real life commentary into our space opera. It's great. Yes. We relate to it because this is just real life issues. But yeah, so it's, it was really, really fascinating to see. Obviously Hera trying to like really push back, but listen, Hera she's part of the rebellion. She's going to go off and do her own thing. Even if it's just her and her dragging her kid along dangerous missions. She's taking Jason with her. Like, yo, you're taking your kid right on. Like, you know, cool. Take him with you. So it was really fun to see Hera in the series. It was really, first of all, what do we think of Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Hera? Because I'm curious. Do we love it?
A lot of people didn't, but I honestly kind of vibe with her. I obviously think Vanessa
Marshall.
Yeah, Vanessa's the OG, and I feel I do really wish that they had brought her in. But I feel like Mary did pretty good as Hera. I feel like a lot of the time, and I am guilty of this too, a lot of the time we are so focused on how things were when we knew them before that if something changes about that.
Collision point is a time.
Sorry.
You're okay.
Keep going.
I feel like, and I'm guilty of this too, that if we are so used to something being a certain way and something new is introduced, you won't even give it a chance and it's just automatic pushback. Which I feel like, especially on Twitter, unfortunately, a lot of that about Mary was. But I feel like she did really good as Hera. She had her fighting energy. I feel that's my opinion. What do you think?
No, yeah, I liked it. I think a lot of like things that I really love about Hera. I thought she did a really good job with it. Especially when she's like meeting with, you know, leadership. She's like pushing back and challenging them a little bit. What is the Ziono? Is that his name? The
asshole?
Yeah, the jerk.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so she has. Yeah, I love their back and forth. I thought that was so good, and that's Hera Syndulla for me. So I really enjoyed her. But along with Hera, there's Chopper. So it was really good to see Chopper. Obviously, always a fun time. But I will say another surprising thing that I loved about this series was Jason Syndulla.
Yeah, what a big little sweetie.
That. Protect this boy at all costs. I will fight for him. I will die for him. I think he's a special boy. I think he's a special baby. I think just a special human.
Yeah. I feel, and I really liked how they kind of hinted to, like throughout us seeing him, they kind of hinted, oh, he's got some force abilities from his daddy.
He's powerful. He's extremely powerful. He's in tune with the force. When he was hearing the lightsabers clash in the water, I just thought, what
so cool.
Precious thing to reveal just how special this boy was. Like, boy, I just love Jason Syndulla. I want to see more of Jason Syndulla. Definitely one of the highlights for me was Jason Syndulla.
What a little sweetie.
It was really cool also in the new to get like the hints like when 3PO made a cameo.
Unexpected.
Yeah, because he was speaking on behalf of Leia, and the fact that Leia was like Leia was going out of her way to make sure like Hera was good, like lying for her. It was just like, oh my gosh, that is like a cool way to use like just still keeping the character of Leia alive. Leia would totally be doing this behind the scenes. Like, oh, it was just, it made me want to cry. I cried.
Yeah, it was. Can I say something? We've talked about
whatever you like.
All these Rebels characters coming in, and someone we didn't see was Zeb.
Oh yeah, Zeb was in the Mandalorian,
which is why that's very curious and weird to me.
I think Zeb's budget that they used in the Mandalorian was just too much for Ahsoka. They said we can't. That budget was too high.
But
we can't do it again. They should just recut it and just like dubbed it. Just have him like leaning in a position like how he is in the Mandalorian, how he's leaning over and just talking. Yeah, I don't know. It makes
no sense.
I love Zeb. And
why would you put him there and not in the show with all of his friends? I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, because it's like, okay, well, Zeb's probably out there doing his thing and like, keeping busy and fighting and,
but not even a mention.
I know. There was a lot of not mentions that really pissed me off in the show.
Not even the name at all.
There was a lot of things that I just feel like, oh, like I've been waiting for this moment and it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I was just like, okay, surely this episode we're going to see him.
Yeah.
Okay, surely this episode we're going to see him. And then we didn't. And I was like, why would you put him there and not here?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense, honestly.
No.
Yeah. No, for sure. For sure.
But I am very glad that they did include Jason because a lot of people were like, is Jason going to be in this?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Jason was in it. And I was just like, at first I was nervous because like how, like you could bring Jason and it just not be a good idea. And let's just like, maybe it didn't land well. But I think Jason captured the hearts of many.
Yes.
It was really cool. And it's just really fun for like younger fans to be like, wow, like, I can be like him too. I'm over here.
Yeah.
You hear me? Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
I hear
be like him when I grow up.
In the water. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. So, and for years, Star Wars fans have been asking, where's Ezra?
Mm-hmm.
Ezra is found, and he is not in this galaxy.
No.
The space whales took him to a different galaxy. And wow, the thing that was introduced in Star Wars is there's a different galaxy out there, and we went to it.
Yeah.
Which wasn't as mind-blowing as I thought it would be going to a different galaxy. It was kind of like, oh.
I feel like we were like make it a big enough deal.
We were just in this field. And I feel like Ezra was just like, Ezra was like,
hey.
No, like it's funny because it's like you go to this different galaxy, which is cool. We go where Thrawn's at, and we're in this big old like starship, and it's pretty cool. It's like, oh my gosh, but like Ezra's like downstairs out in the field, like close by, like that's
playing in the
like,
backyard.
No, yeah, like it was just like my mind of like, wow, he's pretty close by to him. That's kind of weird. And you guys have no idea where he's at.
Yeah,
unless that's like a Thrawn thing and like just messing with us. But yeah. So Ahsoka and Hu Yang, who by the way, can't believe we haven't talked about Hu Yang. I thought Hu Yang was perfect, the best. Like Hu Yang's just so like amazing. Like it's just, I don't know.
And I'm so glad David Tennant came back.
So good. Like just like that brings like that comedic, like, what you need. But yeah, so they end up in a new galaxy. Ezra's there, Sabine, her girlfriend and her girlfriend's master, Morgan Elsbeth. They travel to Peridia, which is where Ezra and Thrawn have been chilling. And yeah, we found Ezra.
And then we're stuck.
Who's Ezra been hanging out with? He has a crew. I kind of like it.
He's got a bunch of little besties.
I love them so much.
They're so cute.
They're so cute. Yeah, they're so cute. He would just be friends with all of, like, I just feel like that's what he would be doing. It's such a Ezra thing to be doing. So yeah, so we finally found Ezra. And I have a question. Was Ezra and Sabine's reunion everything you've ever wished for?
I feel like there could have been more hugging.
There could have been something more, right? Tears. There could have been a lot of hugging and tears in this show, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they think like Star Wars, like I think they said no one can hug in Star Wars anymore.
Yeah. And no one can cry happy tears.
Yeah.
Why are tears only for sadness? I need a joyful reunion that makes me want to cry as well. Yeah. It made me teary. Yes, because I've been waiting for it.
Yeah.
But I feel like it needed more vavoom.
Yeah, I agree.
I still really loved it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I needed more reaction.
Yeah. Well, we found Ezra like in that naughty village. It just made sense that he would be here. Like for me, I was convinced like, Ezra would be doing this. So
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just, so I mean, the crazy thing is that they were in another galaxy. The crazier thing is that he was like in Thrawn's backyard.
Yeah.
That's like, you don't know where his whereabouts are. Really?
Do you think like
I feel like he's like a football field away from them, right? Like that's just like visual, like just I don't know. I'm not really good at like, just like it seems like they were so close by. Like what?
Yeah. Do you think that they ever went out for resources at the same time and kind of saw each other across the grass and they were just kind of like,
hey. What's up? What's up, dude?
I'm gonna go back to my palace now.
Yeah, bye.
Have fun in the mud.
Yeah. Yeah. No, so it was so it was really good to see Ezra again. So we are happy to have him. We're happy to have him home.
Yes.
So
yeah. Phenomenal actor, by the way. Very, very Ezra.
Super Ezra. Super Ezra for sure. 100%. Total Ezra Bridger.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good. I mean, the last 3 episodes. Last 2 episodes. We're 3 episodes, 2 episodes. Well, anyways, we're in this new galaxy. Thrawn and Ezra are there, and Lars Mikkelsen returns as Thrawn. He's in cahoots with the Great Mothers. The Great Mothers and Thrawn are working together, which is like
crazy,
insane. First of all, when I saw those, I was like, dude, they're freaking Night Sisters. It was insane. That was like, I gotta say, like that episode after the Shadow Warrior, the episode when they go to the new galaxy, and you only see Ahsoka rarely in the show. You actually don't see Ahsoka at all in this episode. It's probably like also one of my favorite episodes of the series because just the introduction of Thrawn, like when he walks, I got like insane chills.
Yes.
When his ship comes in, it was just visually like just stunning. The music, everything was so good. But my gosh, when we saw like live action Night Sisters, that was insane. That was insane. And even like not like people who are watching it with who weren't like don't know like the Star Wars lore, they were like, who is that? They look cool. And it was just like, those are witches.
Yeah.
Witches in Star Wars. I'm like, let me tell you. Yes. And it was just like, it was so cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what did you think of the whole Thrawn working with the Great Mothers? And they're the talking to Morgan. That's how they got there because they were in cahoots with Morgan.
Yeah, that was so insane to me. Like, of course, it was like, okay, yeah, when you put that together, that does make sense. But also, I'm so curious as to how that first meeting went.
Yeah, like
Where do you even start?
It's like there's a new neighbor. Like, did they go to Thrawn's ship with like a basket of mini muffins and they're like, "Welcome to the neighborhood"? Like, I don't know.
Or was he like, "Hey, I used to work for the power that killed your entire planet. Hey, let's be friends."
So about that, yeah,
it's just like, that doesn't ring any bells. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm telling you, there's so much more. Like, I have questions, a billion more questions than we have answers.
Typical.
So it just what makes, I don't know, but Thrawn is very, he's really knowledgeable, and especially with who people are and stuff. So like, he's also very like, I'm gonna go, I gotta get something, I'll go after, I don't know. So
if I know anything about Dathomir, it's that's where all the dead things come to life and try to kill you. And so that really set up my thought for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
But I was like, they're not gonna do that. Are they gonna do that? That would be crazy.
Yeah. No, for sure. For sure. So he used the Night Sisters, the Great Mothers, to get in touch with Morgan, who is a descendant of Dathomir, which is crazy. And honestly, like, I thought when we were introduced to Morgan, and I thought she was an interesting character too, just because how she was like, using the best. Obviously, like when Ahsoka at the end was like, where's your master? Where's Grand Admiral Thrawn? It's like, oh, what are you doing with Thrawn? That kind of like powered everything else that from that episode. But I completely forgot like how I always thought Morgan was like an interesting character, because she was able to like wield the Beskar spear thing, and it looks so cool. But yeah, to hear that she was like a descendant is insane. That gave her 1,000 more points in my book.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is cool. This is really cool. Yeah. So I like that so it was interesting how they were able to speak to her. Again, like this is what's this interesting is this what makes the series so great is it just gets into like the crazy weird mythology stuff. And this is what I love about this series. Like it gets it. It's so cool where you just have so much like this. There's other series in the Star Wars universe that just gives us different flavors. I just like that we can kind of have this. And it's like, wow, the Great Mothers actually spoke to this descendant from in a different galaxy. And then they were able to kind of come up with this plan to come rescue them from, from this planet. It's wild. It's cool.
From another galaxy is just the craziest part to me. Like they were contacting her from who knows how far away.
Yeah, dreams, right? Or I don't know, right? Was it dreams? I don't know.
I think she said dreams and
whispers. Yeah. Oh, so cool. Oh, it's so cool.
Maybe they were whispers because they were so far away.
Thrawn whispers too. Like he just talks really low.
Yeah. He's a soft-spoken man.
He's soft-spoken.
Thrawn. My sweet, beautiful boy. Sweet is subjective.
I was going to say, what?
No.
He could be sweet. He's soft-spoken.
Yes, he's soft-spoken. He has really
beautiful red eyes.
He
what
does.
Are you talking about?
Okay. I was so excited that Thrawn was like the villain of this series. And maybe that was it's just my own fault, but I feel like a lot was hyped up for it to be like, okay, he's going back to our galaxy. And then what? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he was like talking about his plan. It's just like,
but what's the plan?
Like, right.
Tell us.
Yeah. And it's like, yes, we know this is bad, but like,
yeah,
okay.
No, there was a lot of like, I feel like there was a lot of moments where I'm just like, okay, but tell us.
Yeah.
I'm guessing way too much, and it's driving me crazy here.
I need you to not be soft spoken for like 5 minutes
Yeah.
and give us the rundown, and then you can go back.
I'm like,
to
Loki, tell me.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
And so I felt like even though he was the villain, he was underutilized, which is insane.
Yeah.
And apparently a lot of other people felt that way.
Well, it doesn't help that, again, this is a character we've been looking forward to for a very long time. And it's like, okay, he shows up the last few episodes of the series. It's very tough. It's very tough. You know, and I feel bad for even like who are like, I'm just curious for like the average viewers who are just like, you know,
right?
Who like there's
people
a lot
that don't know that he's evil.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. I feel
plan.
Yeah, and I feel like they didn't really show us how evil yet. And again, maybe they're just setting this up. They're really banking on everyone just like, you know, we're gonna wait and these series are gonna connect and you know we'll get there eventually. But still, I mean, it's really difficult when you just kind of he pops in towards the end. You're just like, wait, like so it kind of happens really quick. Which I think a lot of people did have an issue with. A lot of people are like, well, maybe Rebels 5 should have just been its own thing, you know.
Yeah.
And I get it. There's a lot of clashing stuff. There's a lot of things happening, a lot of moving parts. And it's really it's kind of a tough thing to juggle, like especially like as the creators who are creating the show, how can I introduce these characters where people who are not crazy like Riley and Silver who are going to be able to understand the history behind it. There was a lot. There's a lot. And I'm just really curious like how that really landed for some people. Maybe because it's tough. If it was tough for us to kind of follow along or feeling frustrated, I can't imagine like, you know, the viewer at home. So
yeah, and I know some people who watch very casually and they haven't watched like Clone Wars and Rebels, and so they were watching Ahsoka and they're like, I understand he's bad because they said he's bad, but like
and he has red eyes and it's scary, and there's like organs that's playing when he walks in, so it's scary. But
but why?
It's almost like the motive a little bit. He obviously wants to get the hell out of there, obviously, but what you know, it was just always like talk about this big plan, you know, and I feel like every time like it was always like, they just as I expected they were gonna do this. It's always like, it was kind of funny. There was a lot of like, I knew they would do this.
Right.
This is why I planned for this thing to happen. It's like,
right.
Again with the plans.
And like a lot of times he felt like just a set piece.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I feel like there's times where he was just like, it would be like Balin and like Morgan talking and like Thrawn would be there just in the middle of their conversation, just standing there. I'm like, can I have a minute?
Yeah. And I feel like there was just so much going on that I know I've been saying this. They just really would have only benefited from a longer season.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it would have just been if they had more time to tell the story.
Yeah, there's just so much going on.
Yeah, there's so much going on at once. It seemed a little like, you know, it seemed a little rushed for me towards the end of the finale.
Yes,
towards the finale, I just felt like there was a lot. And I get nervous. I always get like that. And it's not just Star Wars. That was just like this with Marvel. Like towards the end of the series, I get nervous. I'm like, you guys set up a lot of things, and I feel like we're not getting close to it. And again, they're just probably playing it in the long game. I understand that. You know, it's probably going to pay off for us later. I get that. But just some of the things just kind of really didn't land for me, and that being one of them. But I will say, like, just in the beginning, like even just like his entrance and like every time he spoke, I think Lars Mikkelsen is a fantastic actor and he's
Mhm.
amazing as Thrawn.
Mhm.
So I just would have liked to see that more threatening side of him.
Yeah.
Is what I think ultimately what you and I probably both wanted.
Mhm. I feel like even he didn't really talk much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, of course he had his scenes, but then it's just kind of like, that was it.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was just standing in the background while other people talked.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're like the commanding force here. Why aren't you talking the most?
Yeah.
I know
For
you're
sure.
very soft-spoken, but you are also a grand or was a grand admiral.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like when there's like so much going on, a lot of the times when you get to a finale, most, if not all of the things that you've had going on in your show are supposed to get answered by the finale.
Mm-hmm.
With the exception of cliffhangers. Cliffhangers are a completely separate thing. But
Mm-hmm.
there were things that were not answered, but also were not hinted at being a cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just kind of like, what's happening?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. It just only could have benefited from it being at least a couple episodes longer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know.
No,
For Balin's character, yes, I have questions and like I want to know what's going on, but I also feel like it was done in a way where it's like a mysterious send-off.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Which
I feel
it did work.
It worked.
It did work.
Yeah.
Whether that's what they wanted to do or not,
mm-hmm.
it could be what they
It was
go with
beautiful.
now.
Like at the end, when he's standing on the statues of the, oh my gosh, I just couldn't. The daughter, the son, the father. I was just like, this is too much.
Mm-hmm.
The Mortis gods.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
Which was amazing.
Amazing.
To see.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Can't believe it. Screaming my head off. So good. And he's standing on the shoulder. Like, are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah. I loved it. I like that was probably my favorite parts of the finale. Yeah, and then so Ezra is reunited with Hera. There's a lot of catching up to do. There's no mention of Jason. Jason was not there at the reunion scene for some weird reason. And Ezra and Hera did not get a hug for an even crazier reason.
That's one of my biggest gripes.
Oh no, what they did, they faded out. And I'm like, they did the swipe, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to linger here for a bit. Let us breathe. Yeah, that was too much for me. So maybe in season 2 we'll get some sort of like hug or anything.
Star Wars, please give me some happy tears.
So happy.
I need more emotion.
Are there any characters that you couldn't, that you weren't able to stand at the beginning of the season that kind of won your heart over? Because that always happens to me.
I'm trying to think. Honestly, maybe it's just because like I get this way sometimes with characters that I know they're bad.
Mm-hmm.
Morgan was like really annoying me, like pissing me off at first.
Because she was just kind of like a set piece.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I knew she was like doing the wrong thing. And so I was just like just irritated at everything because I didn't want the bad things to happen.
Yeah.
I was just like, no, stop. God.
She got betrayed at the end. That kind of sucked.
Yeah.
And I don't think the Night Sisters were happy about it.
No.
They didn't look happy about it. Just killed one of their descendants.
I honestly think that's the first hint for the people that don't know that Thrawn's evil, that he's evil.
Yeah, that was like, ooh.
And it was the end of the finale.
Yeah, I don't think the Night Sisters were okay with that. They didn't look. No. They looked pissed.
I think there's going to be some.
Yeah, there's going to be something. Obviously, there's something going on with them. Those look like bunch of dead Night Sisters that they brought back with them.
Speaking of dead things, can we talk about the troopers?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
they're creepy.
Yeah. So I know that kind of thing, not exactly because of Night Sisters, but like resurrected troopers has been a thing in like the comics before.
And like I think in Legends and stuff, right?
And so that mixed with the Night Sister stuff that you've seen like in the Clone Wars, and also of course Jedi Fallen Order, and like the sound, oh my god, the sounds that they make,
that bone crackling,
it really unsettles me. It's incredible.
Yeah, for sure. It's so good. It was crazy.
And that makes sense as to it's been however long that Thrawn and Ezra have been stranded on that planet. Thrawn went over with only so many troops. Obviously, those troops are regular people that are going to just die from sickness or lack of food or whatever. But that's how Thrawn was able to maintain his numbers. And that's just, it's so disgusting and incredible at the same time.
It's so good. It's just a lot of spooky vibes in the series. Yeah, that was really cool to see too.
I really
I like what I liked what Ahsoka and Sabine and Ezra, all three of them. By the way, looked really cool. All three of them with the lightsaber at the same time.
Oh yeah,
that was pretty rad. That was pretty cool. Yeah, and that was just like the Walking Dead of Star Wars. That was pretty cool. That was cool. Like, give us that series. That is awesome. I just want them like to be just chasing people.
But since you mentioned the lightsaber, just really quick, can we talk about the scene with Hu Yang and Ezra with Kanan's pommel?
Yeah, I cried.
I cried.
Like that was too special.
It was such a sweet moment, and
that
it was like
special. And it's
an
like
incredible reunion with those two as well.
You need to show me Ezra training Jason already.
Oh
just
my
stop
god!
Already.
That's the next Master and Apprentice.
Yes, I think so. Oh, I would have loved that. I would have loved what my ideal reunion between Ezra is when he gets home. I like the whole like he used he did a very Ezra thing. He wore a trooper outfit, snuck on, and was able to meet them. That's very Ezra. That's something Ezra would do. I would have liked that same reunion. I just would have liked if Jason was there. Yeah. And obviously I love the fact that Chopper recognized Ezra before anyone else, before he even took off his helmet. And I would have loved if Ezra took off his helmet and if it was Jason who like said, "Oh my god," like recognized him. Because he just heard so much stories and like I just want him to maybe not because he's known him from pictures, or maybe they have pictures. I don't know. Like just to be like almost like because he has like that feeling that he has because he's so in tune to know. Oh my gosh, that's Uncle Ezra. Like he knows. I wanted like I would have loved something like that, or like just him being there. That for me would have been perfect, and I probably would have just forgiven everything else.
Yeah. These are my terms, Disney.
Yeah, I would have forgiven everything else.
No, honestly, yeah. Or just like in my head, I'm picturing like he takes off his helmet, Jason comes out, and he has that feeling. Hera's just standing there, just like dumbfounded, and just Jason like walks up to Ezra, and he's just, it's like that knowing look. That's just the feeling, the force. I would have cried. That would have forgiven the no hug.
Yeah.
That would have forgiven the no hug.
Yeah. See, there would have been, because we would have, that's an emotional moment. Emotional moment.
And I just know people are going to be like, thank God these people don't write Star Wars.
What people? I'm pretty sure people will be like, no, put these girls in the writing room now.
Get me in. Yeah. I feel like we've talked about that so many times. Put us in the writing room.
If you want, give me a call.
We're available.
Yeah, we are available. Let us know. But yeah, so this was really fun. Honestly, it's again, we couldn't really end this show this year without talking about Ahsoka. I know we were kind of all over the place. Again, it's really hard to, we didn't want to discuss all 8 episodes. Again, we assume everybody's watched the series, so we're just kind of like revisiting, reliving. But yeah, I mean, honestly, what a great series.
Yeah. I
had so much fun.
Yeah, I'm glad we were able to talk about it finally. And I do wish we would do what we normally had of going episode by episode, but we just needed to do it all before the year ended because how could we not, just like you said.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope you guys enjoyed this meteor episode.
It's
a little bit longer.
It's the holidays. Ahsoka is the gift that keeps on giving because you get to hear Riley and Silver talk about what they thought about it
and go absolutely insane.
Insane. Overall, what do we think? I mean, Ahsoka's journey.
Incredible character arc.
Yeah, I thought so too. Rosario Dawson is a pretty damn good Ahsoka.
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
She really is.
Yeah. So such a treat.
I'm excited to see more.
Yeah. Again, we can't wait. We can't wait for the future. We're hoping for another season. Again, we're left with even more questions. And that's what's fun about being a Star Wars fan. You know, we get to speculate. We get to like nitpick at silly things. Overall, we're fans of this thing. We love talking about it. The good, the bad, the red eye. I don't know.
Soft-spoken man.
Yeah. So
the man without a plan.
Yes, the man without a plan. Yes, we like talking about it all. And we just have so much fun. We love talking about and engaging with each and every one of you fly friends. Thank you so much for hanging out with us and talking to us. This is our first video episode on video. So expect our future episodes to be in video, which is pretty nuts and wild. So yeah.
Yeah. What a great time. I'm so excited.
What a great time. We have one more episode coming out before the new year ends. It's going to be a super chill hang out with us. We may build Legos. Who knows?
There's a very high possibility.
Yeah. Hang out with us while we went on tangents and like Balin would say, just dreams and madness. That's just
so real.
What?
Welcome.
This is our podcast. So yeah. But anyways, Riley, where can the people find you at?
You can find me on Instagram at Riley Antoinette or on Twitter at Riley Antoine.
Nice. And you can find us here. I actually put X, so my bad. Twitter. X means Twitter, so sorry. Won't happen again, Riley.
Don't let my pettiness get in the way of your graphics.
Thank you so much, Fly Friends, for joining us. Ahsoka has come and gone, but we had to make sure we celebrated even if it's to the last very day of the new year. We had to celebrate just the incredible series, the incredible job that all the creators, the cast, everybody put their heart outs. They weren't able to talk about it when it was airing, but we're going to keep the celebration train going. We are going to talk about it because we loved it. And, you know, we're just giving our respects to everyone who worked so hard on it. And this is just us fans just being able to enjoy it and discuss it. So thank you, Fly Friends, for joining on the adventure. Thank you for hanging us in the trash compactor with us. We love you. But yeah, I mean, until next time,